Let's build a stomper. Come on, lads. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Build a Stomper Part 8. As you can see there, guys, quickly, I've done a little bit more work on the buzzsaw. Let me know how that looks. Not really too sure on the bits on this side, on the side, the tank traps, but we'll see. I've also began construction on the right shoulder piece. Essentially a cardboard box covered in plastic card with reinforced joints with the poly foam stuff in the middle. Currently just cutting out the other side. This is the side that I'm going to stick to the actual stomper. But anyway, guys, so not too keen. Well, I don't know. I like the tank traps on the edge of the buzzsaw, but let me know if they're a bit too much. That could be one of the choices this time. Should I keep them? Should it stay or should it go? Yeah, that should be it. But anyway, so yeah, constructing the shoulder part section of it. I wanted this shoulder part to look like it had a bit more articulation and be a little bit bigger, in order to make it look like it was able to combat stuff, well, close up, as it's going to be a tight and close combat weapon. I also wanted I had to have a wider top to it so that I could use it as, I could have more surface area on the top to do things with it. So what am I currently doing? I'm cutting out the, fuck me, I'm tired, it's like 10:45, it's nearly 10:45 in the morning, I'm tired as fuck. And I want to go back to bed, but I can't. I was going to pick the girlfriend up in a bit from work. Ugh. But anyway, so just cutting out some little bits of plastic card, little tabs of plastic card. I'm going to be reinforcing some of these joints. Essentially, again, as you've seen before, I get a cardboard box, super glue plastic card to the outside, and then reinforce afterwards, just because I can't be asked making boxes from scratch. Oh yeah, so this episode today, I'm going to be constructing the main arm assembly and the shoulder for the tight and close combat weapon. It's going to be magnetized in two sections. It's going to be magnetized joining the arm to the shoulder and joining the weapons to the wrist, if you want to call it a wrist. Oh, fuck my life, I'm tired. Don't like waking up in the morning. It's Monday morning when I'm recording this, and it's fucking horrible. I'm tired and shit and boring. I'm thirsty. I want a cup of tea, and I can't be asked going downstairs to make a cup of tea. Anyway, so we've got some boring construction here of the actual box section. I did hit a bit of a dilemma when doing this, because I was just going to stick it to the side, but then I was like, it looks like it can't actually move at the shoulder. So I had to think of a way around that, a way of which you will see in a second. You will see it shortly. I'm going to write on it which side is actually going to go towards the stomper. And now what we're going to do, I got a bit bored of making a box, so I decided to glyph it up. Like, give it some detailing with some little, glyphs of awesomeness right there. I nearly got a cramp in my jaw then when he yawned. I fucking hate that. It's fucking horrible. I had a really bad cramp the other day. Woke up, very, very, very early in the morning, about 4 o'clock, in the most excruciating pain imaginable, and my leg, my left leg had just locked itself, and it was the most horrible pain I'd ever felt, ever. Yeah, so what are we doing now, currently? What we're doing, we're actually going to be making the magnetic part that sticks it to it. Now, I didn't just want to stick a magnet and then stick it to it, because it would wobble about and it wouldn't be right. So what I decided to do was I would build up around the edge and the sides of the magnet with plastic card, and then put a piece of plastic card over the top, glue it down so it looks hidden, so you can't see the magnet. I believe quite strongly, if you're going to magnetize something, you should always attempt to hide it, be it either hide it with paints or hide it inside a construct of some description. That way it just looks a little bit more pro. So yeah, what we're doing now is just trimming down the bits. I've kind of developed a plate-by-ear approach to trimming down bits now. I kind of start big, trim it down bit by bit by bit. It takes a while, but I get a better cut and a better size. Because as we all know, guys, I said it once, I said it many times, going to say it many more times in the future. I suck balls at cutting stuff out. Especially when it comes to measuring and cutting. I just can't fucking do it. I was never really good at it in school. Bullshit. Fucking wank. So I woke up with this most horrible fucking cramp in my leg. like, ah, woke the whole house up, rolled out of bed, fell on the floor, couldn't get it to go away. It's because I was out on the piss the night before and I was dehydrated, and when obviously you're dehydrated, you're more prone to getting muscle cramps and stuff. Speaking of which, I need to go and have a glass of water, I think, because there's one thing that I don't tend to do anymore is drink an awful lot of water when I'm sat at my desk all day building stuff. Plus the fumes probably dehydrate me and stuff like that, and it's just not very good. Not very healthy, put it that way. Oh, I'll tell you so, this desk of mine is absolutely fucking horrendous. It literally, I'm pretty sure that there's that much crap on it I could grow plant life in it. You know, it's like some kind of plasticky compost that's covering the desk. When the Stompa project is finished there, the desk is going to get a complete overhaul. It's going to get tidy, it's going to get clean, it's going to get all the little shavings and all the little bits of plastic shit are going to get hoovered up and so on and so forth. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm building it up bit by bit, and I've actually put a cap on there, and now you can't actually see it, and it sticks very, very well. So what I decided to do, I decided to leave that for a while so it dried, leave the magnets on so it forced it down onto it using the force of the magnets. Now, here's me trying to work out how I'm going to make it like there's some kind of articulation. So I opted to go for some of the PVC pipe. So I hacked off a thin section of it with the hobby saw. The razor saw, and it was a bit of a ball ache. Again, I hate cutting stuff because it's just a real ball ache when you're trying to do something around and with a saw that isn't thick enough to go all the way through in one cut. So I had to get the sandpaper out and I had to sand it all down and smooth it all down. Hyper speed, but it looks like it's going there. Really fast. But yeah, so I decided to make sure it was flat. It wasn't quite flat enough. Now my biggest issue with this was because obviously if I was to glue the shoulder straight to the torso of the Stompa, it would have a much greater surface area to actually make a bond and stick to. With this was a bit of a dilemma because obviously by making an articulation like that, you reduce the surface area, thus making the actual join weaker. So I decided to glue it down there, because I reckon that would be the actual weakest part because it's not fully flat. So then what I decided to do, I'm going to mix some green stuff. So I get some green stuff mixed out, and what we're going to do, we're going to push it down inside there so it forms a more substantial bond inside the actual articulated join of the Stompa. So we're mixing, keep that green stuff mixing all day and all night. Gonna mix the green stuff. It's gonna be alright. Bit musical there, quite like that. You know, maybe I should take up a career in singing and not do Warhammer. Nah, I'm only joking. I'm shit at singing. The only things I can sing well are Tenacious D and a few Bowling for Soup songs. Sort of giving me karaoke. Oh yes, karaoke. I'm such a fucking saddo. But anyway, so once we did that, we decided to line it up and see how it looked. And I thought, you know, that looks okay. That looks like it could articulate enough to swing in a full 360-degree arc, actually. So I decided, fuck it, let's start cutting stuff out. Actually, what did I do here? I can't really remember. It's been a while. It's been about a week since I recorded this footage. What am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Ah, yes. Now, you can't actually see it because it's off camera. But there was a big sheet of plastic card on there from when I first built the Stompa. And what was happening is it was flexing an awful lot. And obviously with flex comes vulnerability because it's going to flex and it's going to break the glue bonds and stuff like that. So I decided I'm going to reinforce this bit with a piece of plastic card going over the edge. A thick piece of plastic card. So poly-cemented it down and now I'm making the joins and the tabs and stuff to actually make it look like it's just been bolted on the side. And that actually created enough rigidity in the actual plastic card that it was no more flex left in it, which is brilliant. Exactly the idea, exactly the design result that I wanted. So now we're going to do the actual gluing of the shoulder piece. Now the shoulder piece does look quite big, but it doesn't actually look oversized. So I think there's a shot in a bit where you actually see what it's like. But yeah. So now it's me trying to work out how long I actually want the main... Oh, fucking hell, it's well timed. How long I want the main piece of the arm to be. But yeah, so I'm kind of like weighing it up in my mind. I'm messing with a few magnets, just trying to think. It's kind of like a stress reliever thinking tool, those magnets. But yeah, so you'll see in a second how I decide to cut it. Okie dokie guys, so let's move the Stomper out of the way and we're going to proceed to make the wrist section of the stomper first, because I still hadn't decided how long I wanted the arm. Now, this was going to have another... This is going to have another magnet in it to obviously allow it to attach to the buzzsaw and to the lifter dropper as well. So what I decided to do, obviously, cut the length of PVC pipe, sand it down. Now, I found a better way of trying to cut, get the edges even. So if I use my new clippers, these are really nice clippers as well. They're from I think they're from the War Store or something like that. But anyway, so you clip it down around the edge until you've got it roughly right, and then the sandpaper does the rest of the work, and it's a whole lot easier rather than trying to sand it down all from scratch. So yay, progression! So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually make a cylinder, which involves just cutting a square of plastic card out, gluing it down, and then clipping away the edges. Now, this gets you a lot of waste plastic card. However, it is good because it does mean you get a very nice edge. So just squishing that down nice and hard there. Oh yeah, yeah, the hardness. You like that? You like it hard, don't you, bitch? But yeah, so, and put the magnet in, and it worked really well, and it looked quite cool. I was going to leave it like that, actually, and just have some bolts, but I thought, no, fuck it, we're going to do the cylinder, so we're going to trim the edges off with the Stanley nut, with the scalpel blade, snap him, and then go in with our clippers in a second, and just, snip it away. Then what we're going to do, just to finish it off, just to make it look less rough, we're going to take some sandpaper to it in just a second. And yep, sandpaper it all down so it's nice and smooth. Well, as smooth as it can go without sanding away too much of it. Essentially, put a blob of super glue in the bottom and then hold it down there, drop the magnet in, and the laws of magnetism and the laws of physics and the laws of gravity will do its work for you. So yeah. Now I'm actually thinking, how am I going to actually make the overall arm? Was I going to have like a big armoured casing? And I thought, no, do you know what? Because the other arms, the arm with the gun on it is big enough and chunky enough as it is. So I cut some length of square tubing out now, sand them down a little bit so it's a nice flat edge. And these are going to create it's kind of like a crane, an upside down crane effect. Inside up for the arm, so it's gonna have like a really rough kind of. Fuck yeah, I need to sleep. I really need to go out to sleep. So yeah, I wanted to create an upside down crane, and it was going to have like all the, it would look fairly rough and fairly lightweight. Because that's another thing as well that I want to try and keep down, the weight of this arm. And I knew if I'd used loads of sections of PVC pipe, it would have been really heavy, and the arm would have risked snapping off, and also the magnets wouldn't have held properly. So weight was the key on this one. That was my key factor in trying to design this arm. So as you can see there, absolutely perfect. It's very, very strong bond, and yeah. I can't see where I'm up to on my editing suite. Where the balls am I up to? I can't even see. What the fuck? Oh, holy crap! I've progressed into the next clip. Oh well, looks like we're gonna have to make do with going into the next clip on this one. But yeah, so. It was going to have a short, so it was going to basically be almost like a pencil mount on this section here. So you've got the wrist, then you've got a longer piece going up, then you have a long section of PVC pipe that I decided I was going to have. Yeah. So that was going to create it. Now, I imagined this, to the actual mechanics, and I'm just using my scored effect there as well, by the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing, guys, to actually make the green stuff just adhere a little bit better to PVC piping. Because as we all know, the PVC piping doesn't really like to stick to super glue, or any kind of glue from that matter, apart from araldite. So what I did here, I left it, and you will actually see in a hobby tip episode that's coming out this week what I actually did to that in a second to actually stick it all down. But now, so we're putting the arm assembly away, and what we're actually going to be doing now is something that I can't quite remember. Really, what was I doing? Oh yes, no, this is cutting out the other main arm section. Now, I thought I was actually running low of PVC pipe, but I remember this was like a 3 meter long section of piping, and I actually found the other section in the boot of my car. So I kind of did a rough guess of where I wanted, of how long I wanted the actual main arm piece to go, and it worked out really well. It's a little bit longer, but it did look okay. So this was going to make up the actual main arm section of it. So obviously we sanded it all down, trimmed it all down, and then turned it into a cylinder with magnetos and stuff like that, as you guys will see in just a second. Oh my god, I need a drink, bad style. How long have I got? I reckon I've got a couple of seconds. I gotta go get a drink quickly. Gotta go quick. There we go. That was quick. So what am I doing now? Oh yes, by the looks of it, it looks like I am holding it down in order to stick it. God, that was fast, getting a drink of water. I think I'm still suffering from my horrendously bad hangover from Saturday night, actually, and it's fucking Monday. Still don't feel 100%. Went out and got absolutely fucking smashed off of honey Jack Daniels. Just drinking triple shots of it straight in a glass tumbler. With 2 ice cubes, though. Like a sir. Like a sir. When it comes to honey Jack, it is a fucking crime to water it down with anything other than 2 ice cubes. You know, you can't have any of that fucking Coke bullshit. You can't mix it with lemonade. It is a fucking... People should be arrested that do that. But yeah, 2 ice cubes, a little bit of water in a whiskey is okay. It's okay because it brings out the flavour ever so slightly, and honey Jack is just jammed full of flavour. But yeah, had like, I can't even remember how many glasses of it I had, but I was drinking triple shots, so it was like a $5 a glass. It was fucking well expensive, and I wish I hadn't done that now because I've got no fucking money now. And there's World War III going on in my guts still today. But yeah, guys, one of the, somebody, I mentioned something in the last episode, somebody mentioned something in the comments that I really like the idea of. Like, I really, really like the idea of. And in the next episode, you are going to see the fruits of that idea. You are going to see what that has spawned, and it spawned something awesome. So please stay tuned for next episode. Like I say, guys, also, the choice for this episode today is something very relatively simple. The choice is, should I keep the tank traps on the side of the buzzsaw? Now, as you can see here, guys, quickly, I've let it run to the next fucking clip again. This is after the arm assembly is dry, so now we're just going to add some detail. I'm going to add some reinforcements to the arm assembly, adding some more square piping across in order to give it a bit more structural integrity, and that way it won't wobble from side to side. Let's see what we're doing. What we're thinking of doing here, we're actually thinking of, rather than just sticking it down and putting a magnet in it, what we're going to do, we're going to make it so that the magnet fits in really nice. And the actual, these, whatever you call it, it's on the tip of my tongue. What the fuck are they? The hatches, the hatch tops from Space Marine vehicles, it is a perfect size for these magnets to actually fit in. It's absolutely fucking brilliant. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick, what we're doing now, because it was just too long, the lift drop was too long at this point, so I had to kind of like pick away the wire, pick away the Tesla coil and trim it down, pick away the Tesla coil and trim it down, pick away the Tesla coil and trim it down, so it was a right size. Otherwise it would have just looked ridiculously too long. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be sticking one of those, I can't think, my brain has turned to liquid shit today. It had the Space Marine, I've said it as well about 20 seconds ago, the Space Marine hatches, stick that down there. Then what we're going to be doing, we're going to plan to stick a magnet in this bit with a load of green stuff, and then obviously the magnetic part in the wrist of the arm assembly, that will stick nicely to it. So I think you guys will see that now. There we go. I'm also thinking now, obviously if I just have it on there, it doesn't look like it's got much worky bits. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to add kind of like a piston driven effect. So we're hacking up a bit of tiller roll here because it was the perfect size, having been used for our lifter dropper. So it would add a bit of continuity to the arm as well. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to stick it to the back to make it look like, the buzzsaw had a bit of a pneumatic ram behind it, so the buzzsaw could extend through the main wrist section, and also make it look like the back of the lifter dropper was sticking out through it also, in order to add some more worky bits, and to make it look a bit more interesting rather than it just being obviously stuck on there. So again, we're using our cylinder technique, sticking a bit of plastic card to it, waiting for it to dry, trimming it all down, etc, etc, etc. Yeah, and really not too sure on those tank traps now that I think about it. I think I might just it looks a bit over the top. So I probably could add those somewhere else or save them for another miniature. Let's have a look. what I'm doing. Yes, I wanted to mirror the effect on the lifter dropper, so I decided to add another Space Marine tank. Fuck, why am I struggling with this word so much today? Jesus fucking Christ, that's annoying. The hatch, fucking tank hatch. Fucking tank hatch. So it would basically, when you put I wanted to use the tank hatch on this bit as well, so that when you put the lifter dropper on there, again it added continuity to it, and again it wouldn't affect it too much in regards to the actual buzzsaw section. But anyway, there is the main arm assembly, which is pretty much done now. Obviously got a bit more, got some finer details to add, like some more glyphs and some armor plates and things like that. What the fuck am I doing there? The fuck? Ah, yes, that was from my green stuff tutorial that I did. We're actually going to use that green stuff and we're going to stuff it down in there and we're going to just push it on top of the magnet like that and let it dry. And hopefully stop messing with it. That's one of the things that, again, I should really practice what I preach. Don't mess with your green stuff. And in the end, that actually created a really nice flat bond for it. And also, what am I doing here now? This is me attempting to remove the silos, because I think I mentioned it on the last episode. I really didn't like the way they looked. And this is also to make room for something else, something even more awesome. But yeah. So, struggling to remove these. I'm still going to keep the silos, well, not the silos, but the rockets and stuff, because obviously stompers without super rockets are a bit daft, because they fire on BS, whatever it is, aggression's BS or something, because they're grot guided. But yeah, so these are being removed. Now, as I removed them, I noticed that they were making a bit of a big hole, so I would have to patch that up as well. But anyway, guys, so this is drawing to the end of the Let's Build a Stomper Part 8. Did I say Part 8 at the beginning? But anyway, yes, Part 8. So anyway, guys, as I said before, please let me know, should I keep the tank traps or should I leave them? See you now, and goodbye, guys.